some kind of steps, didn't really produce much because of the other thing. What is interesting is that CE region is probably closer related to so-called safe, secure area of Western Europe than, for instance, Latin America, right? I mean, we think of ourselves, we are EU members, we are NATO members, we think of ourselves as part of the West. In reality, many still consider CE as a bit of a contested region. Nonetheless, it's much closer related to the actual West than, for instance, Latin America or Africa. So probably, when China started to try to build its influence there, the opponent position and influence was stronger. So Chinese steps did not manage to create such sufficient base as, for instance, in Africa and Latin America. Another thing is that, for instance, compared to Africa, what happened this year was that American State Secretary Pompeo visited Poland, Slovakia, Czech, and Hungary. Then also Weiqi went for the same visit. Then President Trump met all 4 leaders of Central Europe. So you can see a revival of American interest. So again, you can consider this that America played its steps much stronger than with Africa. At least personally, I didn't see that the US would play its steps over there so strongly. Some questions which again come from this logic. Can Serbia and Hungary alone become secure area for China in CEE? I leave it as a question. Right? If China manages to build there the secure area, then indeed, even if it loses all the region, this can help. But is that enough? Right? If you play Weiqi, you look at an area, and the question is, can you build there the secure area? It depends how big the area is, how skillful you are, and how skillful the opponent is. So that's a question. Can Chinese positions in CE play the role of pressure on EU on one side, perhaps on Russia on the other side? Right? Sometimes with Weiqi, you play somewhere only to increase pressure from the other side. Right? As I said, there are many front lines. So even maybe your stones would die later on, but they can have some kind of historical function. Or is the CE region dead for China? Is it that the Chinese stones can be easily removed? This is very important because if they are dead, playing more there is actually a waste of energy. If you play Weiqi and one area is dead, the unskillful player would play there. The skillful player sees that's dead. I'm not even responding. I will save my effort and energy and play where it actually matters. So if CE is dead for China, does it matter? Should it still play there? I don't have the answer, but that would be some questions you can use from this perspective. Finally, let me finish my whole discussion about Weiqi, Chinese foreign policy, specifically this topic. You may ask, does this make sense to play with this kind of game? So I think it does make sense, but I recognize that to some extent it depends on the personal preference and taste. This is a quote by one former chess player who then started to play Weiqi, and then he said that at the end he actually preferred Weiqi much more because it's more elegant and so on. There are some qualities of Weiqi, and this is the quality which I want to highlight. Simple rules. You really have simple rules. There are like 3 rules which you need to know about Weiqi compared to chess, which have much more difficult rules. On the other hand, these simple rules lead to very, very complex interaction. Using Weiqi as a theoretical framework allows for open-ended interpretation. So I'm not saying whether CE is a dead area for China or not, but the Weiqi framework allows you, as it is happening, as it is developing, it allows you to interpret and simplify, which is one of the functions which theories should do. Right? So I'm saying not predicting, but interpreting development in simple and relevant terms. When I say relevant terms, that's the final thing. This can be regarded as part of strategic culture approach, which allows you to improve your understanding of what is going on. And I think additional benefits is that the Weiqi logic is very much embedded in traditional Chinese thinking. So we've heard about Chun, we heard about Sun Tzu. Some people show similarities between Weiqi and Yin Yang. About Guanxi, there was another article by one Chinese author. So this is kind of part of this overall Chinese approach. So I would argue there are some benefits using this approach. Thank you very much for that.
In theory, you don't have break time. You already overused that break time. But what I suggest is that please go to the toilet, please have coffee, please have refreshments. You can bring it into the room. Let's meet back here in 5 minutes, and then we can start our discussion.